Deus Volt and a happy Halloween. So here I like to do kind of the month of October. I like to paint a bunch of stuff, and um, Halloween especially, I like to sit down and paint like one model and make it nice. Usually it's an undead model, and usually all of October I'm working on undead models. This year's been a little strange though. I have been sick with the plague, like zero energy, and I haven't been able to get to much, I'm going to be honest. But I have struggled forward and done some things. And I'm going to count some things as well. So one of the first things that I'm counting is I'm putting down layers of blood, the bottommost layer in this undead worm. And this is actually the Lich King with an undead worm. Got a sweet little zombie coming out of the hillside. And I built it up with cork so that he wouldn't bump into units that are attacking him. So I don't have to turn things backwards and whatnot. I think that's ridiculous. But I am working on the underlayer of the meaty blood bits. And I'm gonna get inside here, this side around here. No, it actually looks like I did a bunch of that too. So yeah, working on it. I think now is the gashes in his neck, and I'll be doing the inside of his mouth here very soon, and any wounds on his face. I need to deal with. And I will be doing him a green as well, because it'll just showcase the red. On other, I have the dragons, and I think I'll do like purple or something like that with like maybe black or gray skin. You just want to change things up. You don't want them to look the same, because really the body is the same. It just has these little plugs here where the wings go and a different top jaw. Or I believe in his case, it's the entire head, top and bottom jaw. But regardless, so I have started him, so he will count. And actually I've had this guy started. He was the same, actually he was more completed than my Gravekeeper and my Igor dude here, or grave robbers, however you want to call them. But this model I built up much like these guys as kind of objective pieces for a board of Kings of War. And this is a corpse cart. One guy clearly has the noose still on his neck there. And this poor guy is just taking him to be buried or dumped wherever. And I just wanted to give him a quick ink to give me fine details so I can go through and pick that out. Plus this hay, yellow is just a pain in the butt to work with. So I wanted the hay done so I could pick out all the little yellow bits and get that to pop real well. It's gonna take a while to paint this because of that yellow. Once I get past that yellow, and I'll be able to paint these guys up top, and it's going to go a lot quicker. But that yellow, very, very deep down, is going to be a pain in the butt. I mean, I've got between the arms and whatnot to get to. It's going to be a pain. But everything else, I mean, they're just peasants. It's going to be earth tone colors. Not that bad. And the last piece that is work in progress, he'll be done by tonight, I'm sure. Really, I need to put tufts down, autumn leaves, and do a bit more on the Gravekeeper himself, mainly the lantern here. And I'm toying with the fact of putting soil on top of this coffin and around the edges and whatnot, maybe on the Igor's back here, kind of falling down his chest, and maybe a bit on his shoulder falling down as well, as if they'd freshly dug it up. They're going to be moving it elsewhere off premise. But I do need, his skin is really, really bright. I just did a bunch of that skin, his teeth and eyes last night. And I do need to highlight his mouth and do maybe another light wash around his skin because it's very, very bright. And of course the bright stitching on his pants. And did his skin last night. Pretty nice, but the lantern does need to be done. and soil on the tip of the shovel, dirty boots, dirty feet, and the basing. But for the most part, these guys are fairly done. Of course, I need to do his hair as well. There's a few strands there. But they'll be done. Like I said, objective pieces for Kings of War. Maybe, kind of like stop getting the infant vampire to, the carriage or something. The things that I did finish, surprisingly enough, I did a Marauder Warlord. I got him from England direct. Some cat had him for sale, loose, but complete. And I've been looking for this model for a hot minute. And this guy was selling him at a reasonable price, so I picked him up and decided to paint him up. He's fairly simple color scheme, just lots of leather. Fairly simple, just did some rust and whatnot. And he's actually the first Marauder I've painted for my Dead Zone forces. I just really wanted this model. It was its the second edition rulebook had him pictured as the Marauder Chieftain, even though he's for the bigger game. Dang it. Anyway, Warzone. Yeah, he's the Warzone Marauder Chieftain. So I just wanted the Dagon model so it could be like in the book, kind of, I've got the model that they had pictured. And he's really nice. I kind of wanted to, whatever I buy now, go ahead and paint it because I have such a big backlog for miniatures that if I want to buy anything new, I should paint the Dagon thing. So that's what I've done with him. I just really wanted him. And next, if I could find a spawn for the Nameless, I'd really like to get my hands on that. And I did finish painting, finally, my vampire on Pegasus. I didn't put anything on the sign. I've been very lazy. I have like a Frankenstein's monster I painted last Halloween with a tombstone. I didn't put anything on the tombstone. Being very, very lazy. But this piece here comes from a Games Workshop Plague Lord on horseback. It's a metal piece. So I had a few of these pieces and just decided it would look really cool on this vampire guy. Pardon me, there's a little bit of the plague sticking around. And so Pegasus, very, very simple color scheme. Just gray with loads of juicy red muscular bits. Wings, the feathers have that mud tint on them. And then a basic red cape. Nothing too serious. Like I said, I was dying most of the time, just really coughing up lungs and stuff. And I just wanted to get models done. Basic black shield. This is something that later on, of course, he's kind of not as big as one of these worms or the dragon, but he is like a nice model, a single model, and he's not really centerpiece, but he is a focus model. And later on I could dress him up a bit more, write in a destination's name on the sign, or like keep out, beware, something like that. And then of course I could dress his shield up a bit more and dress his Pegasus up a bit more. You can't really see it. There's a lot going on here. But he's got nice little nasty teeth, red eyes, and of course all the wounds, they look gruesome. I didn't want it, to be too terribly nice and pretty looking, honestly. It's an undead Pegasus. It's not supposed to be nice. And then the one thing that I really wanted to paint, and I did paint, and you guys have seen it before, was my pumpkin patch. I really like the 3D printed pumpkins. I've had them for a year, and I just wanted to paint them in October, and that's what I focused on doing. I have not laid down all the leaves yet, like you can tell. On my completed Pegasus, he's got those leaves, and in previous videos I've shown it. It's the leaf cutter for that, from Green Stuff World. Really excellent leaf cutter. You know, they're a little expensive, but when you buy it, it's not going to go dull, not cutting these kind of leaves anyway. So you'll use it forever. But yeah, I had to get my pumpkin patch done. I think it adds a lot of necessary color to my board, and it's really great. It uses the stone wall and the one of my two wells that I got from the Mantic Crazy boxes. This was the fantasy box that I got this from. The well was from the terrain box. So it worked out really well, and I have a pretty nice pumpkin patch. I like it. The leaves, I think, if I put leaves down, it'll make it look much nicer. But, just set up some ruined houses, some homemade, tombstone things. These are all GW tombstones from all the multiple sprues of skeletons I've gone through in the past. This is that Pathfinder cemetery. They don't give you enough fencing to go around the back side of it, which I think is poop. Especially, I think this is a $50 kit. When it first came out, it was $50. I don't know what it is now. Inflation's just gone through the roof, but it's expensive. It's pre-painted and it's nice. It's got opening doors on the thing, but so bit of Forge World there. This is a Drakenhof mile marker, and the Forge World, cemetery there. Very expensive pieces. I'll never be able to replace them. So, and I actually went to Glen Burnie to get this thing. That I got in a trade with a friend. But then, the nice trees, I haven't painted them, but they still look good. So, some nice trees, just some ruined bits here and there. And of course, this thing took forever to paint. The Garden of Moor. And it's all bits and pieces. It's all, just so you can see everything that goes on in there. Everything that could be modular, I made modular. So everything comes loose. But it's a really nice piece. I don't regret getting it at all. I do enjoy the piece. And then another cemetery. I haven't painted the fences. It's one of those things, it's not priority. Not just yet. Not when I have things like this skull layer of the Astromancer to paint up. And I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there. But yeah, so I just set up my table a little bit for some Halloween goodness. Definitely not a playable table. I have a lot of emphasis on graveyards and tombstones and stuff, but maybe for Mordenheim, if you guys like Rockenheim, Mordenheim, small warband stuff, definitely good for that. But anyway, it's not as much as what I did last year. I think I did a whole zombie unit and a whole bunch of other stuff last year for Halloween. But these pieces will count. This one will definitely be done by tonight, and it's gonna be nice. I'm gonna dirty up their clothes a bit more to show that they were actually down there digging in the dirt and whatnot, and give them the autumn leaves and tufts that really makes everything pop and look nice. And these guys have been in my collection forever. They're all they're Reaper models. I don't know if they're Sandra Garrity or not. Something tells me that they are. But they're the metal ones. I think everything they do now is bones, which makes me sad. But these are the metal ones, and actually I have had them painted, not fully, but painted a little bit, the skin and everything. And I had to strip them back down to bare zero because they were on individual bases. And I decided to make them together in just one big base, which I'm happy about that decision. And this guy, I had one in the past, really loved it, never had it assembled or anything. And when a friend of mine was getting into the undead and whatnot, I gave it to him. And then I really kind of had remorse for that. I gave him this, and I also gave him the old Mordenheim Witch. And that Mordenheim Witch was like, getting water from a rock to try to find her again. But I had to. I just had to. And I've got her painted. She was a Halloween paint job last year, I think, as well. But this guy is just so cool. The scale matches the rest of the stuff. And I just had to have this thing again. So I had to find it. It's something decor, but it's called Corpse Cart. And if you type it in, you'll find a lot of Games Workshop corpse carts. But this is all metal, and it's from Something Decor. It has a very, very small blister pack that has a yellow card insert to it. But anyway, I'm very, very happy to have these two pieces. This one's been with me forever, but to finally get them painted up and put on a board. And you'll be seeing more big stuff from me. I've got a lot more to paint up. But anyway, this is my Halloween setup, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Halloween. All right. Carry a liaison.